Welcome back. I recently had the opportunity to speak to the stars of a new reality show called The Great Muslim American Road Trip. They embark on an incredible adventure and learn more about Islam, about its roots in America, also each other in their relationship. I really enjoyed talking to them about this. Let's take a look.
PBS invites viewers to buckle up for a cross-country journey along historic Route 66. The Great Muslim American Road Trip is a new three-part documentary series, and today we have Mona Haydar and Sebastian Robins joining us to tell us all about this. We're so excited you're both here today. Welcome to Park City Television.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
So, Mona, let's start with you. Tell me more about this road trip and what made you decide to go on it in the first place.
Well, like so many Americans and people all over the world, we just had spent a year in isolation. Our kids were home from school and things had just eased up a little bit, and we felt safe enough to think about taking a trip. And we felt so lucky that my mom took our kids for 3 weeks. And we got the opportunity to, reconnect in our marriage a little bit and relearn some things about each other that maybe we had forgot or gotten to know we got to know each other in a new way after almost 10 years of being together. So for us, it was really, our intention was about our marriage.
And not only that, but the trip also explored the deep roots of Islam in America. Sebastian, what are some things that you learned on the trip?
Yeah, as Mona said, our intention was more personal, and it blossomed into something much bigger. I think we learned a lot. We really became these students in the hands of these teachers, and every single person we met became our teacher for that hour or day. I think one of the most profound things we learned was when Muslim history started or blossomed in this country, and the timeline for that just kept getting further and further pushed back until we learned about a man who came to this country in the year 1500, considered by most people to be the first Muslim on this land, who was an enslaved Moroccan, came via the conquistadors, and we met his story on the Zuni Pueblo of Western New Mexico. And so it was this blend of the history of enslavement of Native America, of the birth of our country, a very complicated and interesting story that really, I think, encapsulated a lot of our learning, that it was much deeper, much richer, and much older than either of us knew.
And Mona, you've never shied away from talking about your history, your heritage, your roots, your religion. You've always been very open talking with others. In fact, you had a video that went viral about this before the road trip. So tell me a little bit about, what led up to this, especially with your experiences in being open about your history.
Yeah, I was taught spoken word poetry and hip hop in the beautiful Black artist community of Flint, Michigan, where I was taught that all stories are important. And specifically, we have a role as artists to tell our own stories to the best of our ability. And when we do that, we are in the work of creating compassion and creating connection in the world. And for me, I just believe that when you tell your truth, you create beauty, you create love in the world, and you create greater space for others to do that also. And I really believe in the power of love, and that when we're actively engaged in that work of creating more love, it comes from an infinite and eternal place, and it's inexhaustible. There's always room for more. And so for me, it's more than a physical experience. It's also a spiritual experience. And yeah, this road trip was no different than, everything I learned growing up about being an artist.
Sebastian, did you have a favorite stop along the way, or a moment that you'll always remember that was deeply moving, or, what really stands out to you when you reflect back on this trip?
I think both of us were very impacted by a stop that we took in Las Vegas, Nevada. which was actually a detour we had to take off of the highway. We spent a day at a place called the Muslim Village. This was a community center that started out of literally the trunk of a woman's car who saw the need for fresh fruits and vegetables. A beautiful woman named Mama Nisa. It evolved into a mosque and a library, a job training site, a place that welcomed men out of incarceration and back into the world. And it was a place that really embodied love, that walked the talk of what it meant to be a God-loving, service-oriented human. And we both left there determined to do good in our lives with however much time we have on this planet. And we talk about that place almost every day, and it has sort of been a fire under us for how we want to be in the world.
And Mona, what do you hope audiences will learn or remember after watching this series?
A couple things. That, this was an opportunity for us. We're not actors, for us to just be real on camera, and that's mixed. We were a couple stuck in a car for 3 weeks, so you get to see the full range of human experience within that story, and you just get to see us being real people. And for me, that was the opportunity that made this so exciting, that we just got to be ourselves. We weren't paid we weren't paid actors, we were just experiencing life as it came along. And there's so much negativity out there, there's so many stories being told, and this is just one that you can watch and feel like it's honest, it's full of integrity, and hopefully you get to laugh with it a little bit, maybe shed a few tears, because it's the full range of human experience, from the transatlantic slave trade to Native American stories, all the way to Muslims being doctors and serving their communities in that way, to Muslims being artists and the world's best head spinner, for instance. So a full range of experience, and I just hope people enjoy it.
Well, I know that I'm so looking forward to tuning in, to learning, to experience the life-changing moments that you all had, as well as just getting to know about these deep roots in America of Islam. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. The Great Muslim American Road Trip premieres Tuesday, July 5th on PBS from 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a 3-part series, so I encourage everyone to tune in and watch. And thank you once again, Mona and Sebastian, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.